What is up, guys? It's the Scripting Legend here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make your very own shop GUI. So let's get right into the video. So the first thing you're going to want to do is insert a screen GUI into starter GUI, and we can rename this GUI to shop. And then we can insert a frame into the shop screen GUI, and we can set the frame size to 0.4, 0, 0.3, 0. And then let's just go on the device emulator and just scale it to something that looks nice, because it will look more squished when we get off of it because we have our Explorer and properties open. Alright, and now we can set the position to 0.5, 0, 0.5, 0, and then it should look like this. But to get into the middle, we're going to have to set the anchor point to 0.5, 0.5, and now it's right in the middle. Alright, so the next thing you're going to want to do is rename this, the frame to shop frame. And then we can insert a text label, and we can name the text label to, we'll rename it to title. And then we can go back on the device emulator, just set the size to like 0.2, 0.2, 0, 0.2, 0. And then just do that again. Alright. Move it over. Actually, instead of moving it over, we can set the position to 0.5, 0, 0, 0, and then the anchor point to 0.5, 0. Actually, let's see, 0.5, 1. Actually 0.5, 0.5 for the anchor point, and it should look like this now. Alright, make this look nicer, inside the shop frame we can insert a UI gradient, and then next to the 3 dots, we can click on the color, and then these 3 dots should appear right where my mouse is. Click on that and some windows should appear. I don't know if you can see this on the recording or not, but then you can, unlike the bottom of that window, there should be like a color thing, and just set that to whatever color you want. I'll make it to blue. And then I can just add another like lighter blue in here, and can just go like that. Alright, and then we can just hit close. We can copy this UI gradient, or duplicate it, and then just put it into the title. Alright, so it should look like this so far. We can set the text scale to true for the title, and font to sources sans bold, text color to white, text stroke transparency to 0, and text to shop. Alright, so now we can just make the border color to like 0, 0, 0, so that it looks like that. We can do the same for the shop frame, 0, 0, 0. Then we can give it like a border of 4 for both of them, border size pixel of 4. Alright, so now our frame should look like this. And now we can get started. So inside the shop frame, you're going to want to insert a scrolling frame, and you're going to want to set the size to 0.5, 0, 1, 0. Alright, so it should look like this. Set the background transparency to 1, and we'll set the first we'll set the position to 0.5. Actually, no, to 0, 0, 0, 0. So just be right there on the left side. And we're gonna have to scale this down a bit for like right here, and then a little here too, so gives it some room, because inside the scrolling frame we're going to insert a UI list layout so that whatever you insert in here will just it will just go right under each other. So if I just insert more. Alright. So that's that, and we can now insert a frame into the shop frame and just make it to the size to 0.5, 0, 1, 0. Then just set the position to 0.5, 0, 0, 0. Alright, so it's right there. We can scale this out to over here, and can just put this down a little to here. Set the background transparency to 1, and then we can name this to info, rename it to info. Then inside of it we can insert an image label and set the size to 0.2, 0, 0.2, 0. And then we can go back on the device emulator and just make it to just make it to look good. Alright, so we'll put it right there, that size. We can rename this to image. Actually, we'll rename it to pic for picture. Now we can insert a text label, and we can rename it to name. And we can set the size to 0.2, 0, 0.1, 0. Then just scale it out to like that. Set the background transparency to 1, and do text scale to true. And we'll do font to sources sans bold, text color to white, text stroke transparency to 0, and we'll just make it say name, colon. Alright, now we can duplicate this. Whoops. We can first check it on the device emulator. Yep, that's good. We can now duplicate this and drag it down. We can rename this one to price. So this one, we'll just set the text to price, colon. And now we're gonna have to insert a text button and just put it down here. And set the size to 0.1, 0, 0.1, 0, and then just drag it a little. You can drag it down a little too. Alright, so just scale it up to how it looks nice. Alright, and just move it over. So that's fine, and we can just set the background color 3 to lime green, so that's 0, 255, 0. Now we can put text scale to true, font to sources sans bold, text to by, or just make it say by. We can do text color 3 to 255, 255, 255, which will be white, and text stroke transparency to 0. Alright, and we'll rename it to purchase. Okay, so now and I'm just gonna hide my UI. I'm gonna go into the toolbox and insert a sword. You can, if you're using a sword, then you can make your own sword. You can go watch my video on how to make a sword, and I'll put that in the top right corner. Should appear now. Alright, so I just got the sword from the toolbox and I'm going to insert a folder into replicated storage and I'm going to name it to items and then I'm going to put the sword into it. Just going to rename the sword to sword. Alright, and now I can put my UIs back. So now we're going to insert an image button into the scrolling frame. So image button. Alright, and then we can just go into the info frame to that image label, copy the size, and just put that size for the image button too. Okay. Yeah, and then we're just gonna have to scale it up like that. Alright, well, forgot that this is weird when you're scaling it like this. Alright. That will have to do. Alright, so now we can rename this image button to sword button, and we can insert a local script and actually start scripting this. Local script. Alright, so now we can set some variables. We can do local player is equal to game dot players dot local player. Oh yeah. First, guys, we actually have to insert a script into server script service. This will be our leader stat script, and we can do game dot players dot player added connect function brackets, and in between those brackets player. Then we can hit shift and the closing bracket, and it'll just move us over to the next bracket, and then we can just hit enter and an end should appear with a bracket. Alright, so now we can do local stats is equal to instance.new folder comma player. Alright guys, the reason we do comma player is so that it sets the parent of the stats to the player instead of having to do stats.parent equals to player. So that would just be an extra line. Alright. After that, we can do stats.name is equal to leader stats. Okay, guys. So I've been hearing that some of you guys are having trouble on the leader stats scripts. It's probably right here that doesn't work because you need to spell leader stats exactly the same. No capitals, no spaces, exactly like this. If you don't do it like that, then it will not work. Alright, so now we can drop two lines and we can do local coins is equal to instance.new int value comma player, actually not comma player, comma stats, so that it appears in our leader stats. Then we can do coins dot name is equal to coins, and then we can do coins dot value is equal to 100. The sword will cost 100. The sword will cost 100, so we'll give ourselves 200 so you'll be able to see that we can't buy the sword twice. Alright, so now we can close off that script and we can go back into our local script. So far we just have the player variable, and now we can drop a line. We can do local coins is equal to player find first child brackets speech marks leader stats, which I spelled wrong so that wouldn't work, leader stats. Then we can do outside of those brackets wait for child coins bracket speech mark coins. Alright, now we can drop a line. We can do local info is equal to script.parent.parent.parent.info. Then we can do local name is equal to info. Alright guys, so if we were to do info.name, then it would be thinking that we're talking about the name property inside info. So that's why we have to do info : wait for child name. Alright, so it might be a little confusing at first, but it's fine, just go with me. Alright, so now we can do local price is equal to, actually here, yeah, local price is equal to info dot price. Alright, now we can do local pick is equal to info dot pick, and now we can do local cost is equal to 100. But before that we can do local buy is equal to info dot purchase. Alright, and then after the cost we can do local purchase is equal to game dot replicate storage dot items dot sword. So right here where I put sword is, so what this line does, what this purchase variable does, actually I'll tell you, is it goes into the replicated, it goes into the game and then into the replicated storage service, and then it goes into the folder called items, which we have right here, as you can see where my mouse is in the Explorer, and then inside of that folder we have this sword. So right here where I put sword, you're gonna have the name of your sword. Alright, so now we can drop a line and we can continue. Alright, so now we can do script.parent.mouse button one click connect function. Alright, before we continue, I'm just gonna get a picture of a sword from the toolbox. So, sword. This one's good. Copy asset ID. Alright, so now we can just paste this ID into the image. Alright, so here's my sword, guys. Alright, so now we can go into the local script again, and we can just add some comments first. So before the variables we can drop 2 lines and we can just add a comment called variables. Then we can drop some more lines over here and we can add a comment called on click event, and now we can change the name. Alright, so now we'll do name.text is equal to name.text is equal to name : space sword. Alright, and now we can drop down comment change price. We can do buy. Actually no, we can do price dot text is equal to price : space 100 coins. Okay, drop a line, comment change pick. Then we can do pick dot image. Let me just go into the pick and then down into the image properties. So it is called image, okay? And then we can do is equal to script.parent.image. Alright, and then we can now what we can do is we can add in a another on-click event with the function. So we can just drop another line first. We can do buy.mouse button, one click, colon connect function. Alright, so now we can do if. Alright, so now before we continue with that, let's just let's just go into our leader stat script and drop 2 lines from here, and we can do local owns sword is equal to instance dot new bool value, comma player. And yes, I meant to do comma player this time so that it doesn't appear in our leader stats. Then we can do own sword dot name is equal to owns sword. Then we can do own sword dot value is equal to false. Alright, so now we can go back into the local script and we can do if player dot owns sword dot value is equal to false. Then alright, now here's where we're going to actually give them the sword. So then we're going to do game, then we're going to do purchase colon clone. Actually, before we do that, let's make them buy it. So we'll do coins dot value equals to coins dot value minus 100. Or before that, we have to do if coins dot value is greater than or equal to 100, then have to drop line and end. Alright, so then we'll do coins dot value minus 100, purchase colon clone dot parent is equal to player dot backpack, and then we'll do player dot owns sword dot value is equal to true. Okay, so now let's go ahead and play this. And let's see what we have so far. Alright, so if I go ahead and click on this button, you see it changes this image to the same, this image to the same image as this one. The name is sword, the price is 100 coins. If I click buy, then boom, I have 100 coins now, and I have the sword in my inventory now. If I click buy again, it doesn't do anything. Alright, so now we're just gonna make it so that the buy button will say equipped when you buy it. So before we put player, actually no, right after we do player.ownsword.value equals to true, we'll do script, actually no, not script up here, text buy dot text is equal to owned. Alright, what we have to do now to make sure to make this better, we'll do this. Well, right after we start the first on click event, we'll do an if statement. It will be if player dot owns sword dot value is equal to false, then we're going to have to add an end here, then just all these. Alright, and now we can just copy this because we want this to change no matter what. Copy this, and then right here we'll do, after this end with the bracket, we'll do else, and then we'll paste that in, and then we'll do change the buy button text as a comment, and then we'll do buy dot text is equal to owned. And now if we play this, and we'll click here, name is equal to sword, price is 100 coins, the image is the same. If I hit buy, I now own the sword, now I have 100 less coins, and I can use the sword. You just can't see me because the GUI is in the way. Oh, here's my sword. Alright, and it took away my coins. And if I try to hit buy it again, it won't work. Okay guys, so the last thing we're gonna do is we're going to insert a text button into the shop GUI, the screen GUI, the shop screen GUI, not the shop frame. And we are going to insert a text button into there, yeah, and we'll just set the size to 0.1, 0, 0.1, 0, and then we'll just leave it like that right here. And we'll just put text scale to true, font to sources sans bold, make the text say shop. We'll do text row transparency to 0 and text color to white, and then we'll just add the background color to like blue. Alright, and we can rename this to visibility control, and we can insert a local script into there. We can do local frame is equal to script.parent.parent.shop frame. Then we can do script.parent.mouse button one click connect function. Then we can do frame.visible is equal to not frame.visible. Then we can do if frame.visible is equal to true, then script.parent.text is equal to close, and and then we can add an else. Script.parent.text is equal to shop. And now we can just close out all of these scripts. We can go on the shop frame into its properties and click visible to false. And now we can join the game. We can play this and it should all work. Okay, so you can see it's not here. If I click on this button, it'll open. Now it says close. It'll work every time. I have 200 coins right now. This image is blank, nothing in the name and price. If I click buy, nothing will happen. But now, if I click the sword, everything changes. Name is now sword, the price is 100 coins, and the image of the sword is there. And now if I click buy, you should see that I will have 100 coins. So let me click it. Alright, I now own it, 100 coins, and I now have the sword. Alright guys, well that's going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed and this helped you out, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!